Here we go. Rugby's greatest rivalry between the All Blacks and Springboks. Now, so far in my little rugby adventure, those are like the two main teams that I've really followed. The first game that I ever watched was Springboks versus England. They beat the hell out of them. I forgot the score, but they beat them bad. And then I watched a highlight between the All Blacks and Ireland, and the All Blacks beat the hell out of Ireland. So both of these teams are really good. So this is going to be really interesting. It was actually a recommendation by Gavin McGrath, who thought that I would kind of enjoy this. So you know what, Gavin? We're going to trust you, and we're going to go with this today. Before we get going, go ahead and like the video. Let's see what we can see.
What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object?
I don't know.
Gap up the middle. Here goes Shenry. Kick and chase. This could be sensational. Oh, what a try!
Oh.
In rugby's equivalent to this paradox, we have an explosive clash of the titans between the unstoppable force, that's New Zealand, and the immovable object, South Africa. So
I think that's a good way of putting it. One thing I did kind of observe after I watched that recap between the All Blacks and Ireland was that the All Blacks were really, they seemed to be more spread out. The ball moved more. They had more lanes to run through, everything like that. And the Springboks were rugged. I just can't think of, I just remember they were on the goal line, 10 minutes trying to score on South Africa, and they just couldn't do it because they were just like immovable objects, which is kind of what he said. So I thought that was interesting.
Join us as we go full throttle into rugby's toughest rivalry.
Oh, there goes Colby.
This is Clutch Rugby.
Clutch Rugby, okay. By the way, Clutch Rugby is the name of the channel. There's going to be a link down below in case you want to go over and subscribe to that channel.
Tackles.
Oh my God, what is happening?
Test going back.
Ooh.
The greatest rivalry in world rugby began on August the 13th, 1921.
Oh, wow.
100 years later, the All Blacks and the Springboks come together in Townsville, Australia, for the historic 100th Test match between the two.
Now, every sport needs a rivalry which transcends the sport and defines the legacy of those concerned. Ali needed Fraser, Federer needed Nadal, and in the case of rugby union, the All Blacks and the Springboks need each other.
Oh,
the
wow.
first meeting of these rugby superpowers occurred in 1921 at a venue which would later become known as the House of Pain.
Wait, does he have? I was just trying to look and see what they call them, like cauliflower ears. I know that's what they call them in the U.S. in wrestling. I was wondering if this guy had something going on, but okay.
Which would later become known as the House of Pain.
Uh-oh.
The team has run out onto the field at Carrisbrook, Dunedin. A record crowd of 40,000 inside the ground.
40,000.
The first test between South Africa and New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
We've had such a
New Zealand finished victorious in the inaugural test between the two nations by 13 points to 5. The first meeting formed part of a 3-match series in New Zealand. The inaugural series truly laid the groundwork for what would become a ruthless rivalry spanning across more than a century. How fitting then that in the second test in the series, South Africa got one back on their arch nemesis with a hard-fought 9 points to 5 victory.
Oh, God.
Going into the final test of the series, one winner.
What the hell? They're going out on like stretchers and stuff. Oh my God. And
hard-fought 9.
This is crazy. You got the people like right on the field, the fans.
9 points to 5 victory.
And look, like on a stretcher.
Going into the final test of
is he alive? What's happening right there?
the series, one win apiece.
Oh my
The old
God.
foes fought tooth and nail to a 0-0 draw. The
Oh, wow.
series was drawn and a fierce and ferocious feud was set in motion. Neither nation known to give an inch, the countries toured one another on several occasions and boasted a very even record between 1921 and 1992. 15 wins for the All Blacks, 19 wins for the Springboks, and 2 draws. The
Well, Was that over 70 years?
15 wins, very even record between 1921 and 1992.
Yeah, 70 years.
15 wins for the All Blacks, 19 wins for the
So 35, 34 matches over 70 years. Okay. So that's like 2 per year. I guess that's it didn't seem like a lot. That's why I was trying to calculate.
Springboks and 2 draws. The forefathers and pioneers of All Black and Springbok rugby emerged during the time, with iconic names donning the black jersey, such as Colin Meads, Brian Lahore, and Buck Shelford.
Oh.
Again, it's playing blindside for Shelford. Past 3 men. Tremendous.
On the other side of the coin, Springbok legends Danny Gerber, Freek Dupreez, and Nas Botha etched their name into the lore of the green and gold.
Nas is the only one I know. Nas Botha.
Adolf Milan took it very well there. Out to Nas Botha. And Nas Botha, another drop goal attempt. And wait for it. It looks good. It looks beautiful. It's there. Nas Botha, his 3rd drop goal.
Now, prior to 1992, a few significant instances occurred which form part of the storied history between the 2 greatest nations to ever do battle between the 4 white lines. Due to South Africa's apartheid regime, the Springboks were banned by the Gleneagles Agreement from international sport, and what was once a regular meeting between the 2 became a rare occasion.
Oh, wow.
In 1981, despite the Gleneagles Agreement, South Africa toured New Zealand in what would forever be known as the Flower Bomb Test.
First half, and down on the left-hand end of the ground there is a stoppage. Smoke bombs have been thrown onto Eden Park at the left-hand end of the field. Smoke bombs, flares, being an attempt to come onto the field.
Oh,
Riots
wow.
ran rampant.
Oh, wow. That song is so interesting to me. Hold on. I want to see.
South Africa toured New Zealand in what would forever be known as the Flower Bomb Test.
Flower
First half,
bomb.
and down on the left-hand end of the ground there is a stoppage. Smoke bombs have been thrown onto Eden Park at the left-hand end of the field. Smoke bombs, flares, being an attempt to come onto the field.
Riots ran rampant, sparking the biggest civil disobedience protest in New Zealand history due to the political unrest caused by South Africa's policies at the time. In an attempt to halt the test match, flares and flower bombs were dropped from the sky, with All Black Gary Knight being on the receiving end. Banned from competing in the first 2 Rugby World Cups, South Africa had no other choice but to watch from afar as David Kirk led New Zealand to Rugby World Cup glory in 1987 alongside memorable names such as Sean Fitzpatrick and Michael Jones. Following South Africa's re-emergence onto the international rugby scene, the flame was reignited for this historical rivalry, with regular meetings happening once again.
Await the national anthems. A
Oh,
very
cool.
emotional moment for both teams.
That's so cool. I mean, I remember, obviously, Nelson Mandela. I just always like to think back how, like, this stuff was going on. I was alive, but, like, I didn't know anything about rugby. I mean, yeah, obviously, you can't go back and change time. It's just always interesting to me how things work, like, because, you know, over there in the U.S., when you're just thinking about the Lakers are playing, Dodgers are playing, you know, that's it. Like, you don't think about all the other stuff. Where I guess it's probably the same way here in Europe, because I know here in Spain, they could give 2 shits about what's going on. If the Dodgers are playing, you don't find it anywhere. So I guess I could see that. Anyway, I just always find it kind of fascinating when I see all these like major sporting events that were going on when I was alive and I don't know about it.
Thanks to the influence of Nelson Mandela and his vision that sport had the power to unite, South Africa hosted the 1995 World Cup, with New Zealand being the overwhelming favourites to win the final. Donning the number 11 jersey for New Zealand would be a young 19-year-old, 6'5", 120 kilograms phenom, rugby's first global superstar, Jonah Lomu. Lomu lit the tournament on fire and helped usher in the professional era soon after. But
I remember him. He's like the legend, the one that's really good, one that I think it was a top 10 most feared rugby players or something like that I watched. And I remember him. He was like 3 or 4 or something, but he was really good. super athletic.
Kilograms phenom, rugby's first global superstar, Jonah Lomu. Lomu lit the tournament on fire and helped usher in the professional era soon after. But South Africa would go on to do the unthinkable in a true underdog tale and extinguish the threat of the Kiwis with an extra time drop goal from fly half Joel Stransky.
Has the chance to drop the goal. Back it comes to Stransky. Up goes the kick. Stransky has kept his head. And with 2 minutes gone in the second period of extra time.
The All Blacks and the Springboks can quite easily lay claim to being the two greatest nations in rugby history. In fact, there's not much debate at all. Of the 10 World Cups to occur since 1987, the Springboks or the All Blacks have won 7 of them. Either nation has held top spot in the IRB World Rugby rankings for most of its existence, and both nations hold winning records the rest of the world could only dream of. Despite their dominance over the chasing pack, the outcome between the two powerhouses is never a certainty. Following rugby's leap into professionalism, New Zealand and South Africa have faced one another in 64 test matches. The All Blacks hold the advantage, having won 44 tests to South Africa's 19 with 1 draw.
What the hell? So they've been beating them pretty bad then. Oh, wow. So I guess the All Blacks are like the best in the world.
Since the 95 World Cup, South Africa has added 3 further World Cup crowns to their tally, including back-to-back titles in 2019 and 2023. New Zealand, on the other hand, have...
You know what that means? Sorry, I keep pausing it. 2027, baby, right around the corner. Wouldn't it be cool if I could go to the World Cup? I think, is it in? It's not in New Zealand. Is it in Australia? I don't know where it's at, but hey, never say never. I might, who knows?
Added a further 2 titles to theirs, finally getting the monkey off their back in 2011 and going on to retain the World Cup, being the first nation to do so in 2015.
Oh, wow.
A conflict of styles. Every encounter includes questions of whether New Zealand's expansive and exciting running rugby will overcome the bruising and brutal approach of the Springboks and vice versa. Within the context of the battles between the teams are numerous individual rivalries that have taken place, whose tactics will come out on top. In the past, we've seen Sir Graham Henry versus Jake White, Sir Steve Hansen versus Rassie Erasmus, and going into this year's test, we have the mouth-watering encounter of Razor versus Rassie. We await to see whether it will be the Razor's breakdancing or Rassie's red lights which come out on top.
There's something special about facing the haka. I was as relaxed as anything before a game, but I used the haka to get me in the zone, you know. And my main thing was not to disappoint them. They're expecting me to come, or the box to come flat out.
On the players' front, there've been more individual.
Oh, I just have to rewind that, because I don't know if you remember, but I did a video on the haka here on the channel, and one of my questions was, what did the opponent think? This is so cool that it got the opponent in the mindset of he did not want to disappoint the All Blacks. What? I don't think I've ever heard anything like that in sport. I mean, I guess, like you know, I've heard people say you want to respect the game, and you know, I guess I have heard people say they want to respect their opponent, but it was almost like because of this ritual that they did and the meaning behind it, it was like they wanted to live up to them being warriors coming to play. That's super cool.
The haka, to get the haka. I was as relaxed as anything before a game, but I used the haka to get me in the zone, you know. And my main thing was not to disappoint them. They're expecting me to come, or the box to come flat out.
On the players' front, there've been more individual battles that one can count, and often the game lays in hands of a player being able to get over their opposite number. Will it be the late hard-hitting Jerry Collins and Richie McCaw, or the incredible Schalk, the perfect 10 Dan Carter, or the ever-reliable Andre Pollard and Mornay Stain? We've had Nonu versus De Villiers, Habana versus Xavier, and Estevez versus Retallick. Battles across the park which all play a part in winning the war. Each game carries with it prestige and honour, with everything being left out on the field. In amongst the blood and sweat and tears, for every rugby purist to witness is the essence of the beautiful game we consider so dear to our hearts. The green and gold versus the All Blacks has given several memorable encounters. And going into every World Cup, it's assumed whichever side can get the better of the other, should they meet, will go on to lift the trophy. This has certainly been the case in recent memory. The ABs and the Boks met in the semi-final of the 2015 World Cup, and thanks to a master...
Hey, the ABs, man, they're called the All Blacks. Well, I guess he did call the box, the ABs and the box. Okay, that's fair, I suppose.
And the Boks met in the semi-final of the 2015 World Cup, and thanks to a masterclass from two-time Player of the Year Dan Carter, the All Blacks secured the victory and went on to win the tournament against Australia. The last time these two met was in the 2023 World Cup final, where South Africa narrowly won the game by 12 points to 11. The game was not shy of controversy and drama, with All Black captain Sam Cane receiving his marching orders early on. Peter Steph du Toit put in the most outstanding performance with bone-crunching tackles aplenty as he racked up an unprecedented 28 tackles.
Oh my God.
In the end, the Springboks continued their trend in the 2023 World Cup of winning their knockout games by the slightest margin of 1 point. They had done so against host France in the quarters and against surprise package England in the semis. Scoreless on both fronts, Curtly Aronse's try-saving tackle and a late missed penalty from Geordie Barrett led rags to riches captain Sia Kolisi proudly lifting the William Webb Ellis Trophy for the second time.
So, okay, so what I heard him say was that the All Blacks were barely winning. I mean, was something going on? Did they have injuries, missed players or something like that? Or is it that other people are kind of catching up to them, other countries?
Following in the footsteps of fellow flanker Richie McCaw as the second captain to ever do so.
Level and, they're up there with New Zealand, with Australia. There's lots of teams that might do well every now and again, but you come to expect, a really high level from South Africa.
I mean, that's a good looking dude. I'm just thinking that. Don't worry, my wife is, she understands. I give credit where credit's due. He's good looking. She's gonna kill me when she sees this.
But you come to expect, a really high level from South Africa.
I think the relationship between the All Blacks and the South Africans, it's a mutual, strong respect. They're the world champions and everyone wants to chase that.
Deception from Cheslin.
This year, we shall witness another page in the ever-evolving story of rugby's toughest rivalry, when the All Blacks travel to the high-altitude cauldron of Ellis Park. So, will a new-look All Blacks, led by a new-look coaching staff, be able to stamp their authority on world rugby, or will the ever-improving Springboks continue their run of dominance? It's said that there can be no light without dark, and no yin without yang. And the same can be stated for these two titans, a rivalry which truly transcends rugby. Now, are you as passionate about rugby as we are? Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts below.
I think so. Man, that was good. Thanks, Gavin, for recommending that. That was some good information. I'm pumped. I can't wait for the World Cup. Obviously, there's tons of rugby to watch between now and then, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully you liked that reaction there. If you did and you want to see more just like it, then subscribe to the channel, man. It's easy and it's free. My name is Greg. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.